Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is a 538th Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is a Barbarian Invasion battle fought on a custom map, and during the course of this battle I make a mistake that could cost the team the battle. Okay, so a mistake made by me could cost the team the game here. Alright, and so this is one of the reasons I want to show you this battle. Okay, our first teammate is Barbarian Invasion player Amanestos, who has bought the Sassanid faction. Okay, and here you can see he's bought Levy Spearmen. Now these are cheap 120 man units. Now I'm thinking he's bought this unit as like kind of missile shield units. Okay, as I say, they're cheap and they're soak up enemy missiles as good as any other expensive unit. And these are his elite infantry here, the Sugden Warriors. Okay, Sugdian warriors here, and they've got these effective against armor maces, and that really does make a difference when they fight heavily armored troops. Okay, so make no mistake, the infantry are pretty good there, but their main strength, the Sassanids, are their cavalry, and these are the cataphracts here. Now he's got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. That gives these cataphracts a massive 37 defense. Okay, they've got a 9 charge bonus. Now the highest cavalry charge bonus in the game is 10, and these guys have got 9 plus a 37 defense. So make no mistake, these guys can be battle winning cavalry with those kind of specifications, and these really are the tanks of the Barbarian Invasion world because they're armored from head to toe and are really tough. So I think that's a pretty good Sassanid army, and it'd be interesting to see how well he does with them during the course of the battle. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member First Prime, who has bought the Franks faction. He doesn't usually bring these very often, so this is probably a very experimental army. And as you can see there, he's also got Levy Spearmen. As I say, these 120 man units, very cheap, but they're pretty good at soaking up missiles, so that's why I think he's bought that. Then he's got his Francisca Herban. Now these are axe throwing units. Okay, now these axes I think are effective against armor because the damage I've seen them cause to heavily armored Roman troops is quite amazing really. So I think, as I say, these are axe throwing infantry, and they're good infantry in their own right anyway. And of course the Franks have got their elite cavalry, the Paladins. Now these guys have got the highest cavalry charge bonus in the game, 10. There's only a few cavalry units in the whole game that has got a 10 charge bonus, and these are one of them. Plus they've got really good specifications on top of that. So make no mistake, those are really elite cavalry there. And of course he's also got a religious unit. As we've talked about before in Barbarian Invasion, morale is extremely important, so to bring a religious unit is a really good tactical move to keep that morale high for your troops to fight longer. So I think that's a pretty good Franks army there. It'll be interesting to see how well it does during the course of the battle. Okay, our next teammate is OTD Pen G45, who has bought the Romano British units there. Now if you notice here, the archers here, they're only mid-range archers, but he's fully upgraded them. Okay, 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. But as I say, they are only mid-range archers, but fully upgraded. That's probably going to make quite a difference to them. Their infantry are the Legionnaires here, the British Legionnaires. These guys can throw pilers. If you look, you can see them carrying their pilers there on their shield hands, underneath their shields, and they're good solid infantry. So as I say, they throw missiles and they're really good infantry as well there. But their main strength here is their Grail Knights. Okay, now these Grail Knights, most cavalry units in this game have 54 men in a unit. These have only got 32 because their specifications are so good. These are hugely elite cavalry, and that's why there's only 32 of them instead of 54. Their specifications are really fantastic. So, as I say, a Romano British faction is a pretty good solid faction to bring. And our last teammate is myself, who has bought the Alemanni faction, Barbarian faction. Okay, and just have a look at a few of the units within my army here. I've got Chosen Axemen. Now remember, these guys are effective against armor, and those effective against armor axes really does cut wide swathes through heavily armored troops. Also, I've got Golden Band infantry. They've got a good attack, a good defense, really good solid infantry. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. Now I've got my Lombard Berserkers here, okay, with their big double-handed swords. Okay, and part of the mistake that I make later on in the battle will be in regard of these berserkers. You will see what I mean as the battle unfolds. Okay, as I say, the mistake that I make may well cost the team the game here. Alright, there you can see more berserkers there. I've got 2 berserker units and I've got Knight Raiders. Okay, now remember, these Knight Raiders are effective against armor. They're good infantry, but they bring a big fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, making them more susceptible to routing, which is even more important in Barbarian Invasion, while morale is so important. So bringing Knight Raiders is a good tactical move there to take the morale away from enemy troops. Okay, so there's our team. This should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. So here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Demon, who has bought the Roman Western Empire faction. Quick look at his army there. Do you notice here that he's got his spearmen, his auxiliary palatini in a shield wall there, a shield spear wall there. So of course those spearmen will have an anti-cavalry bonus, but also they'll stop infantry for a long time as well if that formation is attacked head on. Plus he's got his Plumbarteri infantry behind him. Remember, these Plumbarteri throw those metal tipped darts. They've got a really long range and they throw at least 20 each. They may even throw more than that. And as I say, they've got a long range and do a lot of damage with those missiles. So that's a pretty good formation there. Plus he's got a religious unit in there as well. As we talked about before, for morale purposes, bringing religious units is a really good idea in Barbarian Invasion. So I think that's a pretty good formation there. Be interesting to see how well it does. Now let's have a look at his cavalry. He's got a Sarmatian auxiliary cavalry and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fully upgraded cavalry. Now this cavalry is pretty good anyway, but you fully upgrade it and that gives him some really serious cavalry there. So that'll be interesting to see how well that cavalry does during the course of the battle. And 2 units you don't see very often, Roman Equitae Sagittarii. Now these are the Roman horse archers. You don't see them on Barbarian Invasion that much. So it'll be interesting to see how well Demon does with those horse archers. So I think that's a pretty good Roman army there. His next teammate is Brotherhood member Man 2, who's bought the Saxons faction. Okay, have a quick look at those. If you notice there, he's got his Hearth troops. Now, make no mistake, these are really elite infantry, and he's got them in a shield wall there. As I say, these are really elite infantry compared to a lot of infantry on the battlefield. Very, very good infantry there. And then he's got his effective against armor axemen in behind them. Okay, so those effective against armor axemen really are pretty good troops there. So that's a pretty good formation there, I think. And then he's got his cavalry. I think it's Barbarian Noble Cavalry there, if I'm not mistaken. It's got 6 upgrades on them. So, as I say, mounted nobles there. This cavalry is what I call middling cavalry, not elite or anything like that, just medium cavalry there. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22, who has bought the Sarmatians faction. Okay, now if you notice here, he's got 121 man, a runaway slave spearman unit there. Now these are really cheap units. They're probably only just above the peasants, but they will soak up enemy missiles as good as any more expensive troops. Then he's got his elite infantry. He's gone for the Bosphorus infantry spearmen. Now of course, because they've got a spear, they're going to be anti-cavalry, but these guys are really good against infantry as well. So I think that's pretty good infantry there. And then he's got his Sarmatian Virgin foot archers. Okay, now these archers have got a good long range and they do a lot of damage there, so that's interesting there. And also I think he's got Sarmatian noble cavalry, and these guys, you'd be surprised if you look at the specifications of these guys and the charge bonus that they've got. These cavalry are elite as well, so I think that's a pretty good Sarmatian army there, and it'd be interesting to see how well it does during the course of the battle. And their last teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman, who has bought the Lombardi faction, and this is his faction of choice. What we're starting to nickname him now is Sneaky Barclayman, and I will show you why we call him that a bit later on in the battle. You got Knight Raiders there with the fear factor that they bring, and they're effective against armor, but most of his army I think consists of chosen axemen, effective against armor, chosen axemen. That's the main army there, and of course his Lombard berserkers as well. Okay, so there's the enemy team there. This has got the potential to be a really great battle, but as I say, a mistake by me early on in the battle could cost us the game. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle here, you can see my teammates moving up together, forming up together there. Okay, And you can see that the Saxon generals has just routed there. Yeah, I think he suffered a few casualties, and of course he was probably distraught by numbers being so close to all our enemy units there. Right, okay, so you can see my Alemanni army I'm bringing right over from the other flank. Now I've only got 2 cavalry in my units, 2 fast-moving cavalry, and there's a reason I've only got 2 fast-moving cavalry in my army, which you will see a bit later on. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, I'm taking my Alemanni army over to that right flank there by the side of my Sassanite ally. But what I want to draw your attention to here is Barclayman's Burgundii fast-moving lancers. Now these are very fast-moving. They're heavy cavalry, but they're very fast-moving, and this is one of the reasons why we're in the BH we're starting to call Barclayman Sneaky Barclayman, because he very often moves his cavalry round very, very slowly, so we might not notice it, and hides them. And as you see here, he's got his Burgundii lancers there in the woods. Okay, now at the time I didn't notice that these cavalry had been moved into the wood, and as you watch here, of course, they hide in the woods. See how each unit disappears, and only Barclayman can see them now in the woods, and we don't know they're there, and I didn't see them move there, so I've got no idea that those fast moving heavy cavalry are there. Okay, so as I say, I'm moving my Alemanni army over towards that right flank there. Now make no mistake, the enemy team here will be looking to try and get my berserkers. Okay, they know that the berserkers bring a massive fear factor and destabilize enemy troops, so that's what they'll be looking to do here. Okay, here's our Sassanid ally with one of his immortal Clibanarii immortals here, having an archer battle with those Roman horse archers there. Okay, those Clibanarii, really tough infantry there. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, I got my Alemanni army here. Now, can you see Legion's horse archers here? His Sarmatian armoured horse archers. 2 of the best horse archers in the game there, those Sarmatian horse archers. And what he wants to do is bring those horse archers over and start attacking my berserkers with those horse archers. Now, I've anticipated this. Okay, that's why I've bought 2 fast-moving cavalry units myself here, because I know that my 2 fast-moving cavalry units can keep up with those horse archers and chase them away. So that's why I've got these 2 fast-moving cavalry units there, in anticipation of Legion bringing his horse archers round here to try and kill my berserkers. Okay, so I can chase them off hopefully with my 2 fast-moving cavalry units there. Okay, so that's why I've got those there, and no heavy cavalry. Right, here you go. Here they come now. So they'll start shooting at my berserkers soon, but I'm going to have to stop that, and I'm going to move my 2 fast-moving cavalry units to chase them away. Okay, so I've got my armoured cavalry general, and I've got my Burgundian Lancer unit there, and I'm going to start chasing those horse archers away. Okay, but little did I know that this is a distraction tactic by the enemy team. Okay, to distract my 2 fast-moving cavalry. Okay, so as you can see there, my 2 fast-moving cavalry chasing these horse archers off that are running away. But then, of course, I leave my infantry completely with no cavalry cover at all. And what I'd like to draw your attention to here is, as I say, Sneaky Barclayman here has got his fast-moving Burgundian Lancer units that we saw hiding in the woods earlier. He has now bought one out of hiding. And you know what he's going to go for here? He's going to go for my berserkers. Now remember, if an enemy unit gets close or touches my berserkers, it will activate those berserkers, and I will lose all control over those berserkers, and they will just chase the nearest enemy unit. Okay, so that's what the enemy is looking to do here. They're looking to, they've actually distracted my fast-moving cavalry away from defending my berserkers there. This is what I'm doing. I'm thinking, right, I'm going to get rid of those. Don't see that cavalry unit over in the woods. And if that cavalry unit, as I say, gets near to my berserkers or hits them, he's going to activate them. I will lose all control over those really powerful units, and they'll just chase the nearest enemy unit to them. Okay, so as I say, you can see me chasing away those horse archers. Legion's doing a good job of leading my fast-moving cavalry away from my infantry. So here we go now, you can see moving my infantry over to that right flank. I've still not seen that Burgundian Lancer unit moving towards me. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So look, he's coming out the rear of us, so none of my allies or myself spotted that unit. So 10, First Prime or ANS, none of us spotted this unit moving across the rear of our armies there. None of us. So that just goes to show how good our battlefield awareness was in this particular battle. So you can see there that cavalry unit now, as I say, he's going to target my berserkers. If he gets close or hits them, he's going to activate them, as I said earlier, and they will just go completely out of my control. Let's just pause the game for a second here. So as you can see, I'm moving them over to the right flank, and as I say, we've all missed that unit coming in there, and we're all concentrating on what's happening in front of us there. But as I say, you can see here my cavalry here still chasing those horse archers of Legion there. He's still drawing me away from defending my berserkers. As I say, nice tactical move there by the enemy team, and here comes that heavy cavalry unit just looking to smash into my berserkers. As I say, none of us in my team have seen this cavalry unit here creeping up on us. So as I say, not really good battlefield awareness from our team in this particular battle. But here you go, here comes that Burgundy. As I say, if it makes contact with my berserker units, he's going to activate them, and I will lose all control over two of the most powerful units in my army. And here comes that cavalry unit, and bang, as he smashes into him. And there you see, he's done just what he wanted to do. He has now activated both my berserkers. Great move there by the enemy team there, especially by sneaky Barclay man there. And he's activated my two berserkers are just going to chase this routing cavalry unit all over the battlefield. So if that cavalry unit runs all the way over there, my two berserker units are just going to follow it. So my two berserker units now have been completely knocked out of the battle. Two of the most powerful units in the game has just been activated and knocked out of the battle here by really good enemy tactics. I say Legion first of all, I'm drawing away my two fast moving cavalry units, and then this Burgundy Lancer cavalry unit brought over by Barclay man here has activated my berserker. So that was a really nice tactical move there by the enemy team. And as I say, maybe we should have noticed that cavalry unit between us, but as you can see, none of us did there. So there you go, my berserkers are now going off on their journey now, and they will probably play no more part in this battle, and I have lost two of the most powerful units from my army. Okay, so bad news for us. And could that, if this is a really close battle, could that cost the team the game there? Okay, so there's a general disposition of the enemy team there, and my guess is that probably we will be attacking them. So as I say, you can see First Prime has moved his Frankish troops forward there. And remember, the Sassanid ally has fully upgraded his archers there as well. So he will have good range with those archers against the enemy troops there. So, as I say, I think if I remember correctly, in this battle, it's us that actually do attack there. But as I say, without my two berserkers now, that's two, as I say, of the most powerful units in the game. They brought a massive fear factor, massive attack specifications, and through good tactics from the enemy team. There's those three left of those Burgundian Lancers. That once again, you'll see them disappear. There you go, as they hide in the woods. That's why I like to play on maps where you've got woods, because there, so you can spring ambushes, hide troops and bring them out just when you wanted to, just like a Barclay man did there to activate my berserkers. Okay, so as I say, you can see a lot of our allies now have moved their armies forward here towards the enemy troops and moving my archers forward there. Now here comes those Equite Saginarii Roman horse archers there coming in to attack my archers. Now he may well alt attack them and charge into my archers there. It might be a tactic he's thinking about. He's getting very close there. It looks like that's what he was going to do, and then all of a sudden he pulled back. Maybe it was a volume of archer fire that was hitting him there, plus I think my fast moving cavalry units were moving up towards them as well. So that's probably why they pulled back. As I say, it's very rare to see Roman horse archers on the Barbarian Invasion battles that we fight. So as I say, they can be very useful in this game, bearing in mind that most units in this game are very susceptible to archer damage. So horse archers can play quite a big deal, like, you know, in a Barbarian Invasion battle. As you can see right at the back of the map there, see my two berserkers are now chasing horse archers now. So as I say, that was a really nice tactical move there by the enemy team, but maybe some of us should have noticed those cavalry unit coming in behind us. But I think we were all concentrating on what was going on in front of our armies there, rather than paying attention to what was happening behind us there. So as I say, there's a general disposition of the enemy troops, and if you notice here, Barclay man that activated my two berserkers, he's still got his berserkers now to play with, you see. He's still in his barbarian army, his Lombardi berserkers, look, he's still got them that he can still use on the battlefield. So in that great tactical move by their team in activating my berserkers, they've really done a good job because they've still got their berserkers to play with. Okay, here comes one of those Roman horse archers. Now, is he going to alt attack there? Yes, he is. And bang, as he smashes in to our allies' archers there. That was a nice hit there, but both those Roman horse archers have now been routed there. So, as I say, a nice aggressive move there by Demon, but he did lose a lot of his horse archers there. My archers would have been shooting into his horse archers as well, causing him a lot of casualties. Okay, now this is a nice tactical move here by Amanestos. I'd just like to show you this. Can you see? We looked at his cheap units, the Levy Spearmen, very cheap, 120-man units, and he has put them in front of his main army to attract the Plumbarteri darts being thrown at them. Of course, these are like pilot shield units there that he doesn't mind how much damage they suffer here. And if Demon wants to waste his darts on them, then the Sassanid general is quite happy with that. Here you can see OTD Penn with his fully upgraded archers there, having an archer battle here with the Sarmatians. Now remember, these Sarmatian virgin foot archers, they've got long range and do a heck of a lot of damage. And if you notice here, Legion's got them in close formation for more impact and more damage, and that's what they're doing to our allies' archers there. Okay, so as I say, you can see the enemy team really close together there, so they can support each other quite quickly when we attack. Not spread out at all, so that's a pretty good disposition of the enemy team there. Okay, so over on here on our right flank, you can see that the Roman General Demon has now run his Roman army forward there, and my guess is he's going to start throwing those metal tipped darts into our Sassanid ally there. Okay, now when these guys start throwing those darts, start going in, you can see massive volumes of missiles going in. And there you go, you can see those missiles there, those metal tipped darts thrown by the Plumbarteri into Amanestos' Levy Spearman there. So that's a heck of a lot of casualties he's going to suffer there, but that's what he wants to do. He wants to attract those missiles from those troops there. Okay, that's why he's put them there. The more missiles they throw into his cheap troops, the better. He's got his massively upgraded Sassanid cataphracts there, ready to smash in to the Roman infantry. I'm moving my infantry forward as well. Okay, to charge in there, even though I haven't got two, I've lost my two berserkers, there's still quite a powerful army there. And here you can see First Prime usually being very aggressive, and once again being very aggressive in this battle, moving his Frankish troops forward here, backed up by his Romano-British ally Penn there. Okay, so as I say, this is a nice aggressive move here, but they must watch out for those Saxons there that could come in on the flank. See those Saxon troops moving in there? Okay, but remember, both those Romano-British Legionnaires and those Frankish troops can throw missiles. The Romano-British throwing pilers, and of course these Frankish axe-throwing axemen, they're throwing their effective against armour axes into the enemy troops as well. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, you got First Prime and Penn there fighting the Saxons and the Sarmatians there. Nice move there by Man 2, bringing his Saxon troops in on the flank. And look at all the enemy cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge in when they're ready. Okay, so this battle kind of splits into two at this stage. Over here on our right flank, my Sassanid ally and myself are going to attack this Roman army here. Okay, so that's what we're doing. You can see here our Sassanid ally has thrown his effective against armour Sugdian warriors in there, and here comes the cataphracts. Bang! As they smash in to those Roman troops. Those Roman troops were just moving as well as they got smashed by those Sassanid cataphracts there. Okay, so you can see my effective against armour axemen are going in there as well. That was a nice hit there by our Sassanid ally with his cataphracts. I'm just moving all my infantry in now to attack those Roman troops there. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here, because you can see a lot of Roman troops starting to rout here from the impact of both our infantries there, the Sugdian warriors and all my Alemanni infantry there, really pushing in on them. And if you notice here, can you see they're unhappy at seeing friends routed, so their morale will be dropping there. But also something I want to show you, can you see intimidated by nearby enemy? That's my Night Raiders. Okay, my Night Raiders there, as I say, bring a massive fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, making them more susceptible to routing. Now if the Sassanid general smash it in there with his cavalry again, with our infantry already attacking that Roman army, there's a good chance we could rout that Roman army there, which is what we want to do. Meanwhile here you can see those elite Saxon troops there, Hearth troops and axemen charging in on our allies. You've got the Sarmatian spearmen ready to attack as well. Okay, and you've got their cavalry locked and loaded, ready to charge in as well. So as I say, there's like two battles going on at this moment at a time. One over here on our right flank and one over there on our left flank here. Okay, now is our Sassanid ally going to charge those cataphracts in with their 37 defense, a massive 9 charge bonus there, and bang, as they smash in there. You can see a lot of the enemy Roman troops are starting to rout now. You can see my Alemanni infantry pouring in there as well. Okay, so we've routed that Roman army there. That was on our right flank. So that was a nice combination hit there by Amnestos with his Sassanids and my Alemanni army there. Okay, so I'm going to pause the game here. Right, okay, now veterans watching this, what must we do at this stage of the battle? Okay, what must we do? We must chase down those routing troops. If we don't chase down those routing troops, there's a good chance they're going to rally and come back and bite us in the butt. Okay, but our allies over on this flank are under a heck of a lot of pressure there. You can see the Sarmatian general now has charged those elite cavalry into our allies there. So our allies over here on the left flank are under a heck of a lot of pressure there from elite infantry and really good cavalry there charging in. So it's a bit of a problem for our Sassanid ally. What does he do? Okay, as I say, our allies here are really under a heck of a lot of pressure. Look at that enemy cavalry penetrating our allies' battle line there. Okay, so right, we've just taken out the Roman general, the Red Roman general there. So, question for you here on tactics. Okay, now, should our Sassanid ally carry on chasing down those routing troops? Can you see at some of Barclay Man's axemen, there's 79 men, 75, 78 men. So those guys are going to rally. We know that. Now, should our ally chase those routers down off the battlefield so they cannot rally and come back? Is that what you think that you would do? Our Sassanid ally should do that with his Sassanid cavalry. Chase them down, don't let them rally, and make sure they leave the battlefield. But the other thing is, as I say, our allies on the other flank are under a heck of a lot of pressure here. I mean, they could well break there on our left flank. I see several of our allies' units starting to rout. So our Sassanid ally can either chase down the routers and finish them off, or he can smash into the rear of those enemy troops attacking our allies. Okay, so it's a difficult decision, split-second decision. Don't forget, this is in the heat of battle. Which do you think you would do? Chase the routers down, or maybe send a couple of cavalry units to chase the routers down and charge another couple of units into the rear of the enemy troops? Is that something that you could do? But don't forget, at this time, it's a split-second decision here on what he's going to do, and he's going to charge his cavalry into the rear of the enemy troops attacking our allies there. Okay, as I say, my troops here are moving forward into the enemy troops there. Of course, I've got no cavalry, no heavy cavalry to chase down those routing troops. So I'm now going to charge over towards the enemy Alemanni purple troops there. Okay, so all those troops that we routed, look, have now rallied. Look at those effective against armour axemen. 79, 69, 75 there. They've all rallied there, plus some Roman troops as well. So all those troops there, if we'd have chased them off the battlefield, wouldn't rally, but they are now going to come back into the battle, and will that tip the balance? We just have to see here. As I say, I'm running my Alemanni infantry forward towards the enemy purple Lombardi unit, but remember that Barclay Man's Lombardi unit has still got his berserkers, and that could also make a difference to my infantry attacking his infantry there. Okay, so as I say, I'm chasing after those purple Lombardi. I'm chasing Barclay Man's infantry there to see. Now he has activated his berserker units. Both berserker units are now going to turn on my charging infantry. And this is a bit of a problem for me here, because I'm trying to take my infantry over to the other flank to help my allies out. But look at those berserkers. Look at the damage they're doing to my attacking infantry. They're just like chopping my infantry up really bad. Routing units as well here. So they are a good blocking force. They're blocking me from getting my infantry over to the other flank to help my allies. Okay, look at the damage that they're doing against my troops there. So they are acting as a really good blocking force, stopping me from getting over to the flank to help my allies here. Okay, so that was a good move there by Barclayman, putting his berserkers activated there just to stop my infantry. Plus we got those Sarmatian archers there, virgin archers, shooting into my infantry as well at this stage. But those berserkers are acting as really good blockers there. But the good news for us is we've managed to rout this enemy Sarmatian general and the Lombardi enemy general as well. We've routed both of those, so they've lost their morale bonus from that, and I can see a lot of enemy troops starting to rout over there. But I can see that Lombardi purple effective against armor axemen attacking our troops as well, which I'm trying to get over to help there. So as I say, there's a lot going on here on the battle already. Lots of archers shooting into us as well. Okay, finally, I think my army, we've managed to kill those berserkers, but at a massive cost there. Okay, I can see my army has shrunk considerably there after fighting those berserkers. Remember that none of my troops have got armor, so those berserkers could do a lot of damage to unarmored troops like mine. And if you notice here, I know the ground's a bit dark, but I just want to show you, see there, that's a pile of my army's dead. I know the ground's dark, so you can't really see it in detail, but believe me, I lost a heck of a lot of troops there against those two berserker units, and they were blocking me, as I say, from getting over to help my allies. So those berserker units have cost me a lot of troops there. I've still got my archers here, but look at these rallied Roman troops come back into the battle here. They'll probably take my archers out, I'm thinking there. They've already routed one of my units there, so those, as I say, those are rallied units come back into the fray. But as I say, our allies over here is not doing bad. We've routed a lot of the enemy units there between us. And as I say, I'm getting my army over to that flank now. Luckily for us, both First Prime and Penn's General still alive, giving us morale bonus, keeping our troops fighting longer. So that's good news for us. Okay. But can you see those purple Lombardi axemen just coming into the fray there? Well, they are rallied troops here. Right, okay, so my two fast-moving cavalry units here, I'm taking out those Sarmatian foot archers there. Okay, want to take them out because they've been shooting into us mercilessly. As I say, they got long range, they do a lot of damage, so I've taken them out, so I'm pleased that I've done that. But as I say here, I'm moving my troops into those Lombardi purple troops there. See the purple, enemy purple troops there. Now all those units that I'm attacking are the rallied troops. They've just the ones that we should have chased off the battlefield maybe, but they're the rallied troops there. That were routed at one stage, but they've rallied and come back into the fray. Our Sassanid ally has just had his general routed there, so that's bad news for us. We've lost a general morale bonus there. But as I say, these purple effective against armor axemen I'm fighting now were routed earlier, but because we didn't chase them off the battlefield, they've come back into the fray now, and I'm going to have to try and kill them. But if you notice here, I've got my two fast moving cavalry units. Now if I'm smart here, I might be able to smash them into the rear of those axemen there, and we could maybe get them to rout. I see First Prime's thrown in one of his infantry units. Right, here comes my fast moving cavalry here, and bang as I smash in there. And there comes my general unit there, and bang as we smash in there. So we've routed, good. We've routed those units that rallied and came back into the fray, so that's good news for us. Pleased about that. But here comes those Burgundy Lancers that Barclayman had hiding in the woods. He just brought them into the fray. They're going to be fresh, and they've just charged straight into my infantry there, causing several of my units to rout. So there you go, he's got his... see, I've got small numbers left in my units now. Those berserkers really did cause me massive casualties there. And as I say, he's got his Burgundy Lancers there charging in to my infantry. Now, I imagine he's going to pull those Burgundian Lancers back, lock and load them, and charge them in again, which he's doing. Look, he's going to pull them back and lock and load them and charge them back in. Now, at this stage of the battle, there's not a lot of our team left. Here comes those Burgundian Lancers again. He's locked and loaded, charges them back in, and bang! He smashes them in to my infantry there, and my Sassanid allies got a Sugdian warrior unit there as well. Make no mistake, these Burgundian Lancers with good upgrades on can be really good cavalry. As I say, they're fast moving, and luckily we've managed to rout them. So at this stage of the battle, that's all of our allies' troops there. Look what we've done, we've routed most of the enemy troops here. Okay, so maybe losing those two berserker units at the beginning of the game hasn't cost us the game, but look at these rallied units here that we didn't chase off the battlefield that have come back into the battle now. Now they could really make a difference possibly to the battle there. Okay, I can see enemy units there. Look at that armoured cavalry unit there, that horse archer unit can be alt-attacked there, okay. But as you can see here, we've routed most of the enemy troops that were fighting there. But there are a lot of rallied troops coming back into the fray. So, okay, you can see those Roman troops attacking us here. Those Plumbarturi that we routed earlier. But as I say, come back into the fray. There you are. We've routed a couple of their units. That's good. But there's more of them charging in on us there. That. And as I say, make no mistake, these Roman infantry are pretty tough. They're well armoured, and here you've got some more Saxon troops coming in on our tired troops, and here comes another unit there, and bang, as that cavalry unit smashes in there, and that's all it needed. Look now, and all of our units now there have now been routed. And if you notice that, it was the rallied Roman infantry that did most of that there when they charged in on us there. As I say, we routed all the Red Roman army, and because they rallied and come back in, that's what caused the main breaking of our army there. There's a couple of our units left. I got a couple of units left there, but and I say my berserkers have long since gone. I don't know where the heck they've gone. They've probably got killed by those horse archers. But as I say, it's a very close battle here, and maybe if I kept my 2 berserkers, that could have made the difference here. What do you think? If I'd have had my 2 berserkers, you saw how devastating the Lombardi berserkers were against my units. I'm just going to say here, the enemy have not got a lot of men left in their units either, so it was a real battle of attrition here. But as I say, you saw how powerful the Lombardi berserkers were against my units, so if I'd have kept my berserker units, could that have made the difference here in such a close battle? What do you think? I say it's over here on the right flank here. You can see this is where Aenestos with his Sassanid army and my army there routed all the Red Roman troops there. And as I say, as we move over to the left flank and left centre here, you can see this is where a massive, intense part of the battle was fought. But as I say, all those Red Roman troops that you can see that's left there, they were all routed earlier, and they've all come back. They rallied and come back into the fray, and maybe that's what made a difference. As I say, I've got a couple of units here, the Golden Band unit. My guess is, though, they're so battle damaged, so tired, that as soon as they get near the enemy, they could well just break, probably distraught at enemy numbers. They're very tired, so their battle proficiency has dropped off the edge of a cliff. Their morale will be extremely low. Distraught over enemy numbers. I reckon that unit's going to rout. There you go. So that unit's routed. Look, distraught at enemy numbers there. And my guess is that, see, that unit is also distraught at enemy numbers. I wonder if that is going to charge on in. Morale will be very low. There it goes. That's my last unit, I think. And bang, as it charges in there. Probably got routed. There you go. Routed on impact there. So I think that's basically the end of all my troops there. And as I say, if you look at the enemy troops that's left, you can see how close this battle was. And as I say, if maybe I hadn't lost my berserkers at the beginning of the battle, would those berserkers have made a difference here and maybe just tipped the balance of the game in our favour? So as I say, nice tactics there by the enemy team. Newer players to Rome Total War. I thought that was a really good tactic to show you there on how to activate enemy berserkers, especially if the enemy team aren't maybe paying the attention that they should there. So as I say, we'll triple speed this now, because I think obviously the battle's over. So the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game there. I thought that was a really great battle, and very rare to get a close 4v4 Barbarian Invasion battle. As I say, it was a close defeat there. I'd like to say it's the highest kills in the game, and that's Brotherhood member Barclayman, Sneaky Barclayman, as we call him now, 1,525 kills. But something interesting in this battle, I think you might find quite interesting, is that, okay, Barclayman got the first highest kills, we got the second, we got the third, we got the fourth, and we got the fifth highest kills. So isn't that amazing? So that's very unusual for the losing team to have the second, third, fourth, and fifth highest kills in the game. Very, very unusual. So that just goes to show how close this battle really was. So well done to brother member Demon there with his Roman army. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted there, but he was taken out quite early, but rallied his troops. Well done to Man 2, did well with the Saxons there. Well done to Legion 22. did well with the Sarmatians. As I say, highest kills goes to Barclayman there, so really well played, guys. That was a great battle. Some good tactical moves there for you, especially getting my Berserkers. Okay, that Alemanni army of mine did well, but as I say, just in your opinion, do you think that if I'd managed to keep my 2 Berserkers, bearing in mind how close the battle was in the end, those 2 Berserkers might have tipped the balance for our team, as you saw how, you know, how powerful they were when they were fighting my troops there earlier on in the battle. So as I say, maybe losing those Berserkers might have cost the team the battle, but I just wondered what you guys think there. Well done to OTD Penn there, got some good kills Romano-British. Well done to First Prime, did well with the Franks, and well done to AM Nestos there with his Sassanid troops there. So really well done to him. So really well played to everybody in the game there. Let's say I like the diversity in this game as well, the 8 different factions. Okay, quick look at the battle statistics. My Warlord, oh my gosh, the Warlord killed 130. And my Burgundian Lancer light, you know, my fast-moving cavalry unit there, 134. So those 2 units did quite well. The Archers, not brilliant. Of course, oh my gosh, the Berserkers killed 23 and 7. I never saw them do anything. I didn't think you were going to kill anything after they ran off. And as I say here, my infantry didn't get that many good kills, but I think, as I say, I suffered massive casualties from those 2 Berserker units that were activated as my troops were moving forward there. So not great kills there from my army. But just to say, that's a very rare close battle. And as I say, look at the diversity of the different factions there. 8 different factions, all with their own strengths and weaknesses. And as I say, I hope you enjoyed this very, very unusual Barbarian Invasion battle. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.